Yeah, hello YouTube once again. Yeah, today I got a job here from a customer. It was a laptop. And it's a Chromebook or a certain laptop that's got a heatsink as a piece of metal. They don't have the fan in the normal heatsink that we are used to. And so when this laptop came, and it's not going to be the first laptop I've made there. And whenever I see this small motherboard like this and that metallic heatsink, I almost know the chances of working on that motherboard and coming back to life are like zero. And why am I making this video now is because I thought I should address this issue. I checked the processor here, 0000. Yeah, it's a shorted processor, this one, and there's nothing I can do about it because I don't even have the machine to transfer this processor and come and put on another one. So this is like today I thought maybe let me address these issues of fanless laptops, fanless motherboards, and to start with, maybe we might check the advantages of having a fanless motherboard. This is a motherboard that does not have a fan. When I say a fanless motherboard, maybe if I check this machine here too, you see this one does not have a fan. All we have is this metallic plate as a heatsink. That's what I mean by a fanless laptop. Let's now look at a laptop that has got a fan. A laptop with a fan is like this one. You see? Now this is laptop with a fan and a heatsink and everything. So I want us to assess these two, and from my experience, what I've found to be the case. So most laptops that come with this fanless, with the metallic heatsink here, most of them have the processor issue. The processor is shorted and it's dead. The chipset here is dead. And most of them actually, other technicians will agree with me. This is also the case to them, because I tend to know that when you have this fanless laptop, you are bound to have some challenges when the heat is too much. Okay, for this one, if we are to look at this one, you can see, I know at one time in your life you have been using your laptop one day, and as you are doing some task in the computer, and all of a sudden the fan is spinning at a very high speed. You can even hear the sound of the fan from inside. The fan is going why is the fan going at a very high speed? So the laptop has detected that there's too much heat on this PCH here, the processor or the graphics card, and the fan is bound to work hard to try and throw out a lot of heat than, because the task on this processor now is it's a task overload, is a bit bigger than it was before. So the processors on these laptops in most cases are not dead. You never find, most of them are not dead, unless in very special cases. These processors take a long time because of the fan, and heat dispensation is a bit high. So let's try to check the advantages and disadvantages of this one. So this one, what happens when the heat is much? What happens here when the heat is too much and this metal plate is saturated with heat? And maybe you're trying to do a work overload, a bit heavier work on this process with this processor, and all it have is a heatsink. So what is going to happen? The processor is going to overheat, because after this metal is saturated with temperature, there's nothing else that can be done. The processor just have to struggle with the heat that is. But whenever this one is saturated with temperature, the fan will increase the speed and try to send more heat outside. So one of the advantages that you can have with these laptops, and this is the secret behind, anytime you see a fanless laptop, the processor cannot do much. That is a processor that cannot do much. It's not a heavy processor. It's just a processor that can be used to do minor jobs. Because that's the reason why you see even gamers, they have very big fans. 2 fans actually. There are 2 fans on a gamer and a lot of gills. And actually the mechanism of a gamer, if maybe just try to, there's actually a video I made about a gamer here. If you look at this laptop, it's also a laptop with a fan. Yeah, fan is not here, but I want you to look at these gills. Look at these gills. I would call them gills, like those one of a fish. You see, the one that fish uses to breathe. If you look at these gills, I don't know whether you can see that there's a diagonal design. You can see the gills are made in a diagonal design. This is a design that is meant to increase the cooling mechanism on this laptop, because if the gills are straight, the heat can just go straight without touching this metal plate, and we want the heat to touch this metal plate so that the cooling can start, cooling mechanism can improve. So when they are tilted a bit and the fan is drawing in air, this metal plate has more cooler effect than when they are straight. I don't know whether we used to call it service area in biology, like a child. Why do we cover children with some heavy towels? We cover them with some heavy towels. It's because of the service area. Children have very little service area. So if you have got an ice, a box of, maybe say a cube of an ice that is this length, and you place it on a child's hand, in the first place, the child hand is not even like this, it's a little. So the child will absorb a lot of heat, a lot of cold from that ice. Unlike you, when you place an ice cube here, you have the whole body. The surface area is too much, it's too big. That ice can never do, it cannot do anything to you. But a child, you put that ice, tomorrow the child will start coughing and maybe having some chest issues. You understand what I'm saying? Surface area. So these gills are supposed to increase the surface area. Every plate that is diagonal, and now the fan is blowing heat straight, but the plates are like diagonal, so the cooling is going to be much better because the cold air is touching almost every plate and with intense. I don't know whether you are getting what I'm saying, with intensity. And so now the cooling mechanism is much better than before. There was a video I was making. I don't know whether I have that video here. Maybe I may have to check that video later, or maybe let me see whether I can get something playing here to see that video. So I'll get that video ready for you. So I think let's first of all finish with this one. So you can see the diagonal mechanism is to increase the surface area, and as a result, this processor, even if it's experiencing some workload, the processor is going to cool quickly than this one with no fan. And also you'll hear the fan trying to spin. So the only time that you can have this fanless laptop, and one, let's agree, we said if you see a laptop with this metal plate, a heatsink only without a fan, that is not a big processor. That is not a processor that can do much. So for those guys, I get customers here with some Chromebooks and they're telling me they want to install a Photoshop in a Chromebook. What are you talking about? A Photoshop in a Chromebook? And maybe you want to install a video editing app in a Chromebook. In the first place, that is not even going to be possible. And if it's possible, your processor won't last for long. Yeah, your machine will die and you bring it to me and there's nothing I can do with it. The only favorable situation for this laptop is if you don't need a lot of processor power and you want to be you are in a very silent place. Sometimes, have you ever had a laptop that is producing a fan spin, and you are in an office, a very quiet place, and all you can hear is a fan spinning, like you understand? And that noise sometimes is a nuisance to you. Yeah, there are some things you can do to reduce that noise, but fanless laptop is very good for you. Environment that you are living in. For this part, let's say somebody is in a dusty environment, like maybe where I see movies like Iraq, Pakistan. I don't know what's those combat movies where soldiers have gone there to do some peacekeeping. Those places are very dusty. Fanless laptop is very important there, because advantages of fanless laptops is that they are not going to be affected by dust or cloth fabrics that come and block this part of the gill. You see this part here. Again, the other problem with this laptop is this part here, this gill. So when the fan is drawing away, sometimes the fan, if there's too much dust, the dust is going to clog this area, and now you're going to have an overheating laptop. If you're used to putting your laptop on a blanket, or in a place where there are fabrics in your house, on a blanket, blankets sometimes they have those fabrics will come and block this area, and heat dispensation is not going to be effective and that's why I keep saying service your machine regularly, depending on which environment you are in. If you're in a dusty place and you're having a fan machine, keep your laptop in check. Keep it. You will regularly service it because of that. So I was explaining. So if this one, there's no problem with gills. It doesn't have gills. There's nowhere that fabric can stop. And so the other thing that you can use with this laptop, we said the silent. If you need a silent environment, if you're in a dusty place and you don't need a lot of processor power, because most of these machines does not have processor power. You put it under heavy processor power, processor overheats, and with time it's going to die, because there's no fan to to communicate and say, hey, we have too much heat in the system, guys. Let's work a bit hard and try to throw that heat outside. So I think I just wanted to talk about this because this is the case actually with this one. And I do believe this is what happened with these clients on laptop. Maybe they were trying to do a bit of maybe heavier tasks with this laptop, with just having a metallic heatsink. And over time, the processor kept heating. And with no time, within a certain period of time, the processor is dead, and there's nothing to do with this motherboard. Now, customer will just have to buy another motherboard or completely get rid of that laptop and get a new one. So those are the important things I needed to talk today. That these are, if you are going to buy a fanless laptop, you cannot do much with that laptop. Does not have a lot of processing power. Okay. Advantages, that is going to use a lower power because the fan, spinning of a fan is power consuming. Of course, it's power consuming. This one does not have a fan, so it's efficient on your electricity bill in the house. Okay. The other thing is a bit silent. If you're in a very quiet place and you don't want to hear any noise, use this one. Okay. And the other thing is, if you're in a dusty environment where places there are debris, or you're this person who like to listen music on your blankets and something where the laptop is collecting fabrics, maybe this one is good for you. Only that if you need a lot of processor power, forget. And chances of this machine coming to a technician and be told that the processor is out and there's nothing we can do about it, it's very quick. It's very oftenly. So processors that are a bit strong, the processors that are a bit heavy, processors that are like the gamers, maybe let me say like the gamers. There's a video I made here the other day. That's what I'm looking for. The gaming video. There's a gamer I was servicing. Actually, that video is in my YouTube channel. Servicing a gamer, and I just want us to check that video so that you can see the mechanism I'm just from talking about. Let me come to video capture, and I think like that. You can check. So this gamer came with a fan error, 90B, and I was cleaning. Where is the heatsink? I just want us to go to the heatsink. Yeah, look at this heatsink. Look at this heatsink here. This is a double fan, a double fan. As you can see, a fan here and a fan here. Why? This is a gamer. Check this laptop here. This was a gamer. And which gamer was this one? Is a gaming 15. I think gaming 15. Let me try to go to the end of the video first. After the machine came fine. Yeah, this is a gamer, you can see. Yeah, HP Omen. Yeah, this is a very high performing machine for games and other things, like for video editing and those people who do graphics and design. The processor is a processor that can do a lot of work, and that explains why these heat sinks are looking like this. Check, two fans, and the problem with this one, that this fan was not moving. You can see the fan is a bit. So check at the design of these gills here, like I was showing you on the previous laptop. Check the design. Just like I demonstrated with that, you see they are diagonal. So you see this fan is going to dispense heat straight. You can see my mouse here. It's going to dispense the air straight, but you can see the gills are diagonal. Is to increase the service area, as I was telling you. Also, you can see there's a cooling with the fans are 2 and the gills are 2. You have the cooling system for the graphics card and for the processor. So this explains what I've just told you right now. If you see a laptop without a fan, it's just a heatsink like this one. That laptop is not a laptop that can perform heavy workload. It's just a laptop for doing light workloads and nothing much. So I thought you can understand what this is information that can help you while buying a laptop. Or you can just look a laptop from far and, hey, does your laptop, and you'd know what is happening. There's also the technology, the recent technologies that are coming, especially with the Apple products, the MacBooks. where we have the funless motherboards, but we are going to talk about that later. I'll talk about that later. It's not in another video. I'll talk about those, but first I just wanted to clear this one, and I hope this video is helpful to you, and I know you have been able to know something. For the people we keep saying regularly keep servicing your laptops, now this video is also explains why you should regularly keep servicing your laptop, and I think this is a very informative information. It's very informative for people who like to buy laptops, or like literate people with computers. This is a very helpful information that can help you to know that if I find my laptop with this kind of heatsink, this is not a strong processor, that's not a processor that can do much, and what have you. So guys, that is it for today, and so I think we are going to meet in the next video, and I just needed to air that one out. And also with these motherboards, as I said before, repairing this motherboard sometimes, and most of them comes with dead heat sinks. Let's other technicians also talk on this platform, and give me a comment down in the comment section and tell me, what have you found with these small motherboards that are fanless or just a heatsink? What is your experience with such? And that is it for today, guys. Keep liking, sharing, and subscribing. Let's meet in the next video. Bye.